Well, we're at the Jasper Hotel in North Melbourne, just near the Victoria Market, and Lowen has Sam the tram and everything set up here, and here's Lowen, and Lowen is talking to all these psychologists and people about the book today. And it is Saturday, the 19th of November. Sam and Melba were dancing their way across the junction when suddenly it cracks.
Minutes before the main speaker, this speaker speaks about empowerment script. So I'd like to thank you all for inviting me here. This has been wonderful. This is the team that's been involved in empowerment script, which is Mary Sutton, who you all know, and Adrian Masterman-Smith, who you've met, quite a few of them have met him today. So that's a wonderful thing. I met with the Minister for Veterans Affairs earlier this week, and Mary's now got a presentation to be able to do to him, which is going to be about trying to make sure that EMDR is used more in the field of the veterans and the PTSD. And part of that is actually the empowerment script concept, because it is a link between EMDR and CBT. So both people should be able to get together on that and do some work for that. So that's how we're hoping to handle that. I think you all know that it's been difficult to get EMDR into the system. Now, if you've got any time, and if there's any questions about empowerment script, then please ask Mary, because she really does understand it all wonderfully. On your table, there is a page there of a sample of empowerment script. So I'd just like you to read it, so you get to understand what we're talking about.
I don't think we have them over here.
They're on the table there, so you'd just like to share them out. So it obviously looks jumbled to some people, but if you persist, one line reads one way and the other line reads the other way, and that actually is a form of EMDR that's going on there. Now, after we did work on that, we turned it into a coloured picture book by linking two of the things that we've been working on for many years. And that is what Mary has found works really well with adults, and I know it works for children as well. So this is something that we're beginning on. There's going to be a lot more work needing to be done, but we hope that you all become part of the research. So if you get copies of the book, we've got a few that we've been able to give away today, and you become part of the research team, that's the way we hope to go, and keep on working on it that way. So that the first thing to do is to get people from the EMDR community who will understand what it is straight away to actually work with it. Now, how it works, Mary understands and will be able to explain it quite well. I have a feeling, though, that what it does is actually work on the ventral...
Welcome to the webinar. You have entered as an organizer and may now speak to any other organizers or panelists on the line. When you are ready to begin the presentation, about the start broadcast on the road to webinar control panel.
I have a feeling that this actually works on the ventral tegmental area, which is what Pettigrew called the switching mechanism. And he wrote a paper quite a while ago which showed that that area can get stuck sometimes. And I have a feeling that maybe in trauma these areas get stuck because the empowerment script, it's really very powerful and it makes a new connection there, as well as doing the bilateral stimulation that is so important. So when you have a client with it, it looks like it's a harmless kids book. It doesn't set up any defences, and it calms a person down and reduces their SUDS levels. So because it's now being turned into a sort of a product that you can use, it also means that it should be able to be tested. So we should be able to link it with CBT material, and they also should be able to be tested. So neuroimaging should be able to begin to work on this material. So we really hope that you're going to be supportive of it over time, and we can do that. So some of you have seen the book here, which works the same way. You'll see that there's a little segment there from A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. So it's not confined to any book can be printed this way and have an effect. Now, Mary, would you like to say anything?
It's very briefly.
Thank you.
I'd like to stop as soon as we have the connection through the webinar. I met Lowen at the International Society for the Study of Trauma and Dissociation, and he came up and he gave me a book, and I was talking there with pneumonia, so I put it in the bottom of my briefcase. 2 weeks later, I had a client that wasn't budging with anything, and I've got quite a big toolbox. And I said, I bought something in that I would like to try with you. Now, the problem is I'd forgotten to put it in my bag. And so rather than having egg on my face, I went into the bag and here was this book. And so I said, look, it's not going to do any harm. I would like you to read it. Now, this was absolutely serendipitous. She read this, and all of a sudden, we had an amazing breakthrough. She said, I love the yellow, I love the sunshine. I don't like the wombats. And all of a sudden, we had a breakthrough into a very heavy dissociative state because we had a little girl's voice talking. So she said, I like the story. And she read it again. Now, when she did that, her sights dropped considerably. Now, I've been working with this for a while, and I think, just to keep it brief, when I was working in Townsville, we had a copy of these for everyone doing stage 1. And at the end of the day, when everybody was tired and your brain's a bit full, I asked everybody to read it. We had 17 people there who said, that's a kid's book, I'm not reading it. Okay, so now we're down to 15. Across the board, the tiredness and the brain drain of the first had dropped by an average of 2 SUDS points. Some were high as 4, some were 1. But it was right across the board. And then a couple of people took it home and said, I'm going to read it again before I sleep tonight. And they came back and they said they read it, they relaxed, and they fell asleep. Now, I've used it a lot, and I'm not going to deny a couple of times people say, I'm not reading that, that's a kid's book, it's lonely, but we've had some extraordinary breakthroughs, and Graham's not quite ready to go yet. I had a gentleman with the most chronic PTSD I've ever come across, and nothing can get his affect down. So I prefaced it by, please, I'm not asking you necessity to read a children's book, but I would like you to do it. Now, after having worked with him and not doing anything that would work, I began to see the tension drain out of his shoulders. He had been breathing, really anxiety breathing, and his breath dropped. And he began to talk to me. He hadn't been able to talk about the incident that caused the PTSD in the first place. And so this is just a tiny, tiny cross-section of what has been happening. And when I was in Townsville and we were doing stage 2 up there with some of the guys, they said, I think I would like to write a script for this purpose using this forward-backward. And so they're going to do that and get back to me. Also have someone at the moment who's working with kids in the school. Some of them are on the spectrum, some of them come from disadvantaged families and so forth, and they're going to get me some feedback too. So don't just say it's just a kids book. Something is happening, and I haven't got the wherewithal here to show you what is happening, but it's quite fascinating as you read backwards what your eyes are actually doing. So I really want to say thanks to these guys. I've been corresponding with them most of this year, and we are in the process of mapping out a paper so that we can see if we can get it published in the journal of EMDR, and then we'll see where we go from there. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Now I see Yumi